was completely wrong. I used to talk a lot of shit. I was wrong about porn addiction.
Same old, eh? Yeah. Let's go. See ya.
Hey everyone, I was in a porn addiction for 10 years, and at one point I got to a position where I was on a long streak, and I honestly thought, like, okay, I'm good. Like, I've sort of mastered this problem. But then I relapsed again, and then I go on another streak, and it's like, okay, maybe I've got a handle of this now. Now I relapse again, and I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, I didn't really have a solid process or system in place. My mind was a bit all over the place. I'd meditate a lot. I'd go to the gym a lot. I was just distracting myself from the urges. I hadn't actually dealt with the addictive neural pathways. And really, I was just going around in circles. Now what I want to do is kind of hold my hands up and be like, hey guys, I messed up. I got it wrong. I said some stuff online where I literally was incorrect and I was chatting some bullshit. But unfortunately, there's hundreds of other guys like myself out there kind of making the same mistake right now. And I want to analyze and critique them and show, hang on, this is irrational. Like, this way of thinking isn't going to serve people. And I think one of the best ways I can do that is maybe show a few of the examples of how I used to think in the past. And then with Mary's expertise, I can kind of go, okay, well, this is where I went wrong. And hopefully you don't have to make the same mistakes that I once did. So let's get straight into it with a bit of an analysis of how I used to react to relapses. All right.
Is the situation which led to the setback.
Mm-hmm.
So this was me talking about dealing with a relapse. Again, I had this kind of mindset that like setbacks were just part of the journey. I didn't really accept that you could actually live a life where you no longer relapse at all. I didn't know that was even possible, really. So I'm talking about dealing with a setback, and I talk about writing down the situation you were in, kind of what led to the setback. In fact, if we click on the next clip, we'll see a bit more about my thoughts on having a setback.
Actually led to it? Like, were you really tired? Were you in a particularly stressful situation? Had something happened on that day?
Mm-hmm. Trigger. So then you're going to change those things.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
sure that situation never happens again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what caused it.
Yeah. And this is so common. So many people do this. They think that there's a situation that's causing them to relapse, but there just isn't. I was completely wrong, because it's not a situation that's causing people to relapse. It's what's going on in the mind and the thoughts that you're having. Now, if we click on the next video, it's quite interesting, because at this point, I had actually got a little bit into some coaching, and I'd done this coaching qualification. I'd learned a bit about rational emotive behavioural therapy at this point, nowhere near as in depth as I understand it now, and not in the way that I understand it with the Beyond Compulsion method. But I had actually got to a position where I understood that thoughts created feelings. So it was a bit more advanced than some guys out there, but I was still definitely in a bad place, and I hadn't fully solved the addiction. But let's click on this next clip here.
Into what thoughts you had about that situation. Two people may be in the exact same situation but have totally different thoughts about it, and our thoughts create our feelings. And so this is really, really important to write down our thoughts.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting because there's rational emotive therapy as a methodology, as a philosophy, and how it works. Your thinking creates your feelings, you act on your feelings, but there's not a lot of very comprehensive, specific ways to apply that, especially to an addiction, right? So that's where we come in, is how to, this is a good philosophy, but okay, now you've identified these thoughts or whatever you're telling them to write these thoughts down, but then what? You do. Okay, there's the thought. And I had that thought and then I relapsed. So it's just not enough,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what was going on as well is that although I was talking about dealing with the situation in a different way and like responding to the situation differently by having different thoughts, and therefore I'd be able to feel a different way, what I didn't understand at that point was that porn addiction is this isolated issue, and it's not this lifestyle recovery, everlasting, indefinite journey that we all go on. It's not that. It's you have these addictional pathways. You want to engage in the behavior regardless of any life situation, triggers, stress, boredom, loneliness, disconnection, trauma. It's an isolated problem. And we deal with that desire very specifically, think it through, and change that neural pathway. But if you believe that there's always different situations, different triggers, you are going to be on this roller coaster of ups and downs, going on a streak and then relapsing again. And then you deal with the new situation, then you change this trigger, then you change that. And that can last a lifetime. And that's what we're seeing with the guys we work with, is that most people have been on that continuous hamster wheel because they've not been taught a very specific way to actually think, basically, and then change their thinking. But yeah, let's click on the next one and let's see what we've got here.
Or was it something else? Was it something a bit deeper? You know, were you trying to escape a certain set of emotions? Was it like loneliness or pain or hurt, frustration? Maybe the situation was you've just come out of a relationship, or someone has died in your family, or, you know, something terrible may have happened. And so that might be the situation, and perhaps you just wanted to escape that pain.
Same old, eh?
Yeah, same old shit that everyone's talking about.
Yep. Same shit, different video.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And
yeah,
you know, I
but
do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you can take accountability for this, you know. I love that we're roasting you as well, because it just shows that humility, and that, you know, that the stuff, if you're saying that what I said was wrong, that really it carries weight, you know, rather than us just saying, oh, so and so saying the wrong shit, you know, or whatever. You're going to go back and look at your own advice and say this was bad advice. That
exactly.
I think if people pay attention to that.
Yeah, and what I would love, and I don't know whether this will necessarily happen or not, but it would be so cool one day, and it may take a few years for us to get there as a business, but for one day, some of the other people who have created similar videos to myself to go, hang on, actually, I was wrong, and learn the Beyond Compulsion method. And you'll look back on the things you were saying, and you'll be able to dissect and analyze things very, very clearly. It's like what Joey Beyond Compulsion is doing right now. You know, another guy, he's done the methods. He'd been through 2 paid programs, spent a shit ton of money trying to overcome this problem. I'm seeing him on Monday, actually, so I'm looking forward to a day out together. But yeah, he's good now. Like, he solved the porn addiction. He's still using his script like myself, and he's just changing his neural pathways. And now he can go and...
I was just going to mention Joey Beyond Compulsion. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
because he takes accountability as well for going all, you know, taking all the wrong advice. So yeah.
Exactly. So it's not what we're doing here. Like, we're not trying to roast people for the fun of it. It's more just, look, there's a lot of shit out there that's making people's problem worse, and there's not going to really be anyone else going, hang on a minute, these people have 2 million views on their videos, or however many it is. There's all these kids genuinely struggling with this problem, and they're being taught something which doesn't work, and that's very dangerous for any society. So I think it's up to us really to go, hang on a minute, we need to have a look at this a little bit closer, and really point out the bullshit. And yeah, Joey's doing a great job of that as well. I recommend checking out his YouTube videos. He did one on like Andrew Huberman recently, which was really interesting. I was watching that today. It was really good. And it's like, we just speak the same language. I'll probably do another YouTube video on this soon, but like, the Beyond Compulsion method, it's got its own language, you see. And when you speak it, it doesn't fit well with any other sort of model. It doesn't fit well with the different language other people are speaking, and so it just naturally conflicts with it, because what we see is, you know, junky thinking, unanswerable questions, the addictive part of the mind just saying whatever bullshit it can, people throwing stuff at the wall hoping it sticks. But what we've got to all realize is that it's possible to fully overcome this porn addiction and never look at porn again, and say that with chest and feel good and have 100% self-trust. Like, that is possible for anybody. But if you're starting out with a course or a YouTube video saying, okay, we're going to have setbacks, let's learn and deal with them and change, like, it's not really a great way to start, that's for sure.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, it just validates relapse, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, let's go into the
helplessness. Yeah.
Yeah, and it normalizes the problem. And I think that's what's
Correct.
happened, is that people have just got so used to everyone relapsing all the time that it's just like, oh yeah, you're going to relapse. And it's like part of the journey. It's like, well, actually, if you want to solve this problem, relapsing is not going to be part of it. You're going to solve it and you're going to move on with your life.
The minute the addictive part of the mind, clicks into these videos and hears that relapse is part of recovery, it's part of the journey, you're going to have setbacks. It's going, got him,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not to say like, you do the Beyond Compulsion method and suddenly everything's going to transform straight away. Like, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of discomfort. You've got to learn some stuff in a very, very solid way. And we've had guys who have relapsed, of course. When I first did the program, I relapsed, but you've got to have the mindset that this is not part of it. Like, you've got to have the mindset of shit. Like, if I've relapsed, I've got to really dig in and do this and like really use this method properly. Because the only reason I relapsed when I first did this method is because I wasn't using it, essentially, and there was a few things I needed to learn to tweak things, and then it became quite simple from there. But anyway, final video. This is just a funny one, to be honest with you. I just thought I'd put it in this YouTube video because I thought it was funny, because my hands are just all over the place, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it has been useful, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Let's go. See ya.
I don't know what I'm doing. Probably cracked me up. I was just like, I've got to put that in this video. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh God, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, I used to talk a lot of shit. I was wrong about porn addiction. Hopefully this can help someone, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
See ya.